Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at 4215 Southeast Franklin Street here in Milwaukee. We're located up on the rooftop, dropping down a 4-inch cast iron vent. Here's our point of access. It's on the back side of the roof. That's as you face the front of the house from the street. That's how I describe everything in general. You're checking the overall condition and serviceability of the line here. We will zero out at the bottom of the vent. And I do have water running. Now, I've got quite a lot of water running. I always do that just to help the camera get down line, especially from a roof access. I usually keep things scooting along pretty quick here just to keep momentum up, but I will bring the camera back in slower. Looks interesting. So we almost immediately went into concrete pipe here, which tells me the line is exiting out the back of the home. At least generally speaking, that's the case. That or they built an addition on top of concrete, which I don't think is the case. Lines go out the back like this. Usually it's for one of two different reasons. There's either a main lateral somewhere on the property line, or it's a cesspool or septic conversion. A lot of old homes used to be on cesspool. When they get converted over to city sewer, because of how expensive it is to reverse plumbing under the home, it'll cost, dang near as much as redoing the whole exterior sewer line. Most people just keep the line going out the back and they wrap the line around the house to go out front. I've seen a couple spots. The concrete pipe thus far in general is in pretty rough shape. You've got quite a bit of aggregate rock exposed in the flow line. I'm hoping we can reach the end of this thing. My camera is already struggling to get down the line right now. These cobwebs are killer. Alright, I'm gonna go turn some more water on inside the home here. I cranked the water volume up a little bit. I'm hoping that helps us get all the way out. And did a couple toilet flushes, hoping it would peel these dang cobwebs off the camera. This is like an Indiana Jones cave in this line. Luckily, I think we've made it around the side of the house now where we have the most downhill slope. I'm hoping that keeps things moving along here. It's these cobwebs. Cobwebs are making things tricky to see, though. So if we're hitting the main there's so much gunk in the line right here. I'm going to back up just a little bit from that spot there. Thank goodness we ran into that. That finally cleared those cobwebs off. So in total, we get to about 92 feet. I'm pulling back slightly in the event what we did was entered into the main there. And it's just hard to see that. Anyway, we're going to kill the water. 92 feet as far as I can even go here. I'm going to park the camera just before hitting that spot. Alright, just located the camera head here. If you're standing in the street facing the front of the home, the line goes out the back of the house, wraps around the right side of the home, and then does a straight shot out towards the street once it rounds that back right corner. If you go walk up to the retaining wall at the front right corner of the property, you're going to see a big green X marking there. That is approximately right where the camera stopped. I'm getting around 5 foot 7 inches deep there. As far as depth goes, that's kind of an awkward spot to locate in, but I'm picking that locate up just before the retaining wall. And when lions go shooting under retaining walls like that, it is a very common spot, unfortunately, to get settling issues. And I think that's what we potentially have going on here. Is probably an offset. There could be a root. I'm going to have to do a little bit of review of this video at home to see if I can discern what's there. All I can see for the most part, though, is there's quite a lot of standing water and debris hanging up in that location. So either way, anytime concrete pipe, I mean, the only things that are really going to cause that is either a settling issue, belly offset joint, or a combination of the two, and or root intrusions. And either way, those are both things I would recommend repairs on. The bummer is we can't see out into the roadway. And in Milwaukee, generally speaking, you are responsible all the way to the main. So that's a part of the line I would love to be able to see. It's one of those spots there. Sometimes the only way you can see it is once you open up the ground, run a camera through the open pipe to see if repairs need to persist past that point. And to be honest with you, usually when you get settling like that right close to the street edge, most likely the settling will persist into the road, but it's hard to say. That's assuming it's settling and not a root intrusion. There's a lot of bushes and stuff up there at the front of the property. All right now we're sitting fairly straight out from the front right corner of the home, but kind of near the property line. The line runs right along all the trees and bushes. I'm amazed this line is not just, I mean, one gigantic root mass the entire way out. With the proximity it has to those usually concrete pipe, there's about no weaker pipe out there to root intrusions. You've got roots coming to that joint as well as dirt. And at this juncture in time, most concrete pipe is reaching the end, from this area is reaching the end of its lifespan. The grout that seals the joints up usually is starting to fail if roots haven't already got through them. Anyway, it was about 4 foot 11 inches deep, and I am preemptively marking the line out right now just because I'm going to have to do some reviewing of this at home in better lighting. But in general, when it comes to old lines of this age, and you can do things however you want to, but once you start doing repairs on these things, spot repairing lines this age does not make sense. What you end up with is our root intrusions right back to the transition joints where plastic meets concrete. It's extremely common to have that happen, and I about guarantee it will happen with the proximity to all the bushes this line has. So it's just at that point where it's ready for update. You got roots there, and especially with issues basically throughout the line at this point, it would not make sense to spot repair each individual location. So I'm just doing kind of big picture stuff here. You know, I'm going to mark right as this thing rounds the corners and things like that. And I'm using green paint. And right now we are sitting straight out from the rear right corner of the house. About 3 foot 6 inches deep there. And more roots there at 29 feet. So at this point, we have problems throughout the entire sewer line. And once you start, having the need to start digging holes at essentially each end of the line, not doing everything in between just does not make sense for a line this age. You're going to end up with, honestly, probably worse results all said and done. funky transition. It almost looks like we might be going from 4 to 6 inch concrete right there. And that joint right there is also blown. You've got dirt coming through it. I think it starts out as 4 inch concrete and then to 6 inch right after that. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to finish up. My locator won't turn on. I'm going to have to restart my camera really quick to do this last locate. About 2 foot 9 inches deep, right as the line pops out of the little concrete pad out back. I recommend a full update to all concrete pipe within homeowner responsibility. Highly recommend you rescope the line after the repair is done, and you want to do that when the trench is closed, not when it's open, or you're not going to catch any settling problems that may occur.